online training course. This is week number 3 of our online training course, and my name, as you know, is Andrew Whitfield, and I am really pleased to be talking to you today about the secrets that you need to know about opening and expanding your eBay shop. What you need to be doing is making sure that you go the right route. eBay shops. Well, the first thing you've got to do is decide whether you do want to go down the route of opening a shop. There are a lot of benefits to opening a shop, and I would certainly suggest that if you want to get increased sales, then that is probably the best way to go. First of all, let's deal with the basics, shall we? So the basics are you need to have a verified PayPal account. That is an absolute must. We've already gone through that, so hopefully everybody's got their PayPal accounts, and that will be great if that is the case. You've also got to look at being a business seller. Now, interestingly enough, there are 3 levels of shops, which we'll go through in a moment. It doesn't say that on the basic shop you have got to be a registered business seller. However, what I will say is, and the type of people that we tend to be talking to on these training webinars, is you're probably going to be more of a business seller. So when you do register with eBay, right at the very, very beginning of your trading life, then what you really need to do is register as a business seller. That would make far more sense, because the last thing you want them to do is to be picking up the fact that you're repeat selling a particular product, and they're writing to you to say, would you like to be a business seller? And they'll probably write to you 4 or 5 times, and if you don't respond because you can't be bothered or you don't think it's worth it, then eventually all they'll do is close your shop down, which is the last thing that you or I or anybody else wants for that particular side of things. 3 levels of shops. Get yourself registered as a business. That is my personal advice. Obviously, you've got to be PayPal verified. Now, interestingly enough, during the course of the year, this particular year, eBay are coming out with a lot more ways of making sure that business sellers and shop sellers are complying with what is required for them to stay top rated, premium rated, to have all the different top rated statuses. So the detailed seller ratings, or the DSRs as they call them, are getting quite tough. They are putting some things in place to help sellers as well, but they are really going down the route of trying to attract high retentive customer service skills by all of their sellers. And for those sellers that don't want to do the customer service bit, don't want to work with eBay's return policies, and don't want to work within the distance selling regulations, etc., they are going to be the ones that will be penalized, and the worst case, they will lose their account and they won't be able to sell there anymore. So they need to actually, or you need to actually, be very focused on customer service, and you give good customer service, eBay will be very, very happy. eBay and Amazon, as you know, are always in a constant battle, and that is the one thing about eBay and Amazon. eBay is trying to catch up and deliver the type of service Amazon already delivers. Now, they're not there yet, and they are always going to play second base, as it were, to Amazon, purely because Amazon is seen as the trusted brand. eBay is climbing that, and it is climbing it hard, and it's going to put more and more things in place to enable people to stay that way and also sell in such a way. So let's have a look at the 3 levels of shops. Now, I would always say start off with your basic shop. So what we need to look at here is setting up the shop, what you need to be looking at what your requirements are, and how you're going to grow the business. Now, there are 3 levels of shops. The first level is the basic shop level. The second level is the featured shop level, and the third level is the anchor shop level. Now, I have all three. I have an anchor shop, I have a feature shop, and I have a basic shop. And the reason that I have all three is purely they do different things for me. I'm quite happy with having that level of shop and also the costs that are involved in doing so. So to give you an idea here, your shop is going to be either a basic shop, 5 pages, which should probably be enough. You can increase those page numbers if you want, and obviously the items, but this is where it gets interesting, you see. When you go to a featured shop, so your basic shop is £20 a month, your featured shop is about 50, and your anchor shop is around about 300. So you don't want to be an anchor shop until you've got probably 5,000 items on there, or a couple of thousand high value items. So we can probably rule out anchor shop for a lot of the people we're talking to on the webinar tonight. Featured shop when you're on a growth spurt is absolutely brilliant, and then obviously basic shop. So your listing fees change. Obviously when you're paying over 300 for the anchor shop, you've got no listing fees and you've got other discounts and things like that to take into account. So your basic shop should be where you start. That is probably the best level, and I would suggest that that would be where everybody starts with their subscription fees and with their shop levels. If you don't have a shop, there's your listing fees, and obviously you're going to have quite a lot of cost because your costs will go up. Here's your basic shop. You're looking at 200 listings a month. Now you can grow that. All you've got to do is, once you've got a bit of credibility behind the scenes, you can actually phone up eBay and say, I want to increase my limits, please. And you do that several times and you'll get a decent limit right across the board. And obviously your listing fees are slightly cheaper than they are up. Featured shop, you're paying a little bit more, so $59.99 at the moment. You've got an automatic 1,200 listings, but again, you can increase that if you want to, and your listing fees are pretty much cheaper again. And then anchor shop, $249.99. I think I said 300 before. $249.99. That is all unlimited. Your listings are inclusive, and you've obviously got a small fee for auction and whatever. Having said that, most people start off with the basic shop, which is here, and you won't need to move any further forward than that. I would suggest that you go with that. Once you get to approximately 1,500 items, then you probably want to look at featured shop. But what you can do on that part is quite simply and give eBay a call, speak to their customer service team and say to them, right, I'm thinking of going from basic to featured. How does the math work? They will then tell you how much it's going to cost you and whether it is worth converting, which is always a great service. And obviously, if you then go up to anchored shop, you can start advertising in other countries virtually free of charge. With the exception of the US, you can advertise there free of charge. With a featured shop, you can obviously go there, and some of them are free of charge, some of them still have a listing fee. And always look out for their little emails that will tell you what is free at the moment. So there's always a little bit of an offer in there. So that is a really good page for you to look at. If you've got more than one shop, then you will be able to obviously have a different name for each one. So I have different names for all of the shops that we have, based purely on the product type that we are selling. And as long as I'm selling a product type which is reasonable, I will also look at trying to make the name of the shop to be a keyword rich name. So we sell rainwater harvesters, and obviously one of our shops is called Rainwater Harvesting, purely because that's what we're selling. They're good keywords and it helps get us up into Google and moving forward. So you always want to be looking at making sure your shop name is as it should be. Now also what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of shops here now. Let's bring that across. Now this particular unit here is one that has been professionally put together. Now you can spend a lot of money, something like this, where they've gone out and they've had it all branded to their requirements. Unless they are a web designer, they have probably spent anything from £800 to £2,000 on having these templates put together and put in. So you can go into their shop, and it is very interesting to see that they have 3 items only in their shop, but very, very, very professionally done. Now, if I go into this, the interesting thing with this particular chap here, he's selling things by auction. They're obviously brand new. He's charging postage. He's got decent photographs, which are obviously stock photographs. They're professional photographs. He's put a reasonable amount of information into the item specifics, and he's got quite a nice sidebar here with all the data that you want, and it's a bid now item. So a lot of people will say that's very nice and they would like it. You know, he's got lots of features in here, which is great. He's got no video in there, which is disappointing, but he's got everything else in there. So very nice, very professionally put together. For me, I wouldn't be looking at that because that's taking me slightly too far away from the eBay format to have this template put in. Most people get very used to the way eBay works very quickly, and the minute you start changing things around, that's when people will potentially think, don't like that. What is it? What am I buying? Who am I buying it from? But it is very interactive. It has some interesting templates that have been put together. Because when you look at the top bit here, that just looks like the normal eBay shop. And it's this bit that's the template below. And I just think it takes it, I personally think it takes it away from the actual item itself. Now here, of course, you've got the light treadmill that he's selling here at £145. He's still adding postage on there. I'd still be looking at doing that at £159.99 if that was the case, as free post to get myself further up the rankings. Sold 35 of them in total over a period of time, and looking at the history we're allowed to look at, they've all been at the same price, and he's selling them almost on a daily basis. So a good line of stock. So here is something, if you're thinking about what can I stock, here is an item or a type of item that you could look at and say, isn't that interesting? They are very, very inexpensive. How good they are, what the returns are like, obviously we don't know. 18 sold in 24 hours. Whoa, crikey. He's doing well. Let's have a look at that then. Yeah, look at that. 31st of March, 30th of March. He's been a busy chappy, isn't he? So he's obviously got a really good line of product incoming here. So this is the sort of thing you could be doing. Now, he only might be making £10 net profit on that. He might be making more than that. But what a brilliant line. So when you're thinking about product, you don't have to think about having hundreds and thousands of things. You've just got to think about what can I sell. So with this guy, he's got 2 lines, and they are both selling extremely well. In fact, he's put that one on free express delivery. Yeah, what a difference, eh? Now, you'll notice that he's used some reasonably good keywords. There's a few in there. He doesn't need the hyphens. The word new doesn't need to be in there. And he spent the extra £1.5p on here. Free bonus giveaways worth £400. Irresistible offer. Now, there's no keywords in there to actually sell that unit. Okay, he doesn't need them because he's got the price right on here now. He's got 476 watches. He obviously sells an awful lot of these. So you don't need to have lots of products. It can be one line that you've got an exclusive deal on and you want it. And there's his feedback. Look, this is what I'm talking about here before. Keep things going nicely. Excellent. Absolutely great. Received. Great. Thank you. Excellent. Cannot fault. Very happy. Fast delivery. There's nobody making any complaints there. He's got no negative feedback. So pretty good. And he obviously hasn't been out that long, but he has spent some time and effort putting his site together. So I just wanted to show you that as one shop. Then I wanted to show you this one as another shop. Now this particular organization, Wow-Gymnasium, you can see they've got their name here. This is a very, very, very standard eBay layout. Now to me it's good enough. I wouldn't have it set in that layout personally. I would have it set out 1, 2, 3, so that they were in threes rather than a list. Their keywords are not brilliant. This particular Reebok ZR10, and then you've got fully assembled, a load of stars or check marks, RRP 599. Don't really need that. You need a bit more information. Hasn't sold it, it's still there, and he's got a fairly basic description, but still it's better than some that we see. He could have made it a little bit bolder, a little bit bigger, especially around here. This is the information, and of course he could have got video in there. Fitness aerobic exercise bike, a lot of keywords missing, but again a reasonable shop. 4 sold, and you can see he's dropped his price by £10 from 165 to 175. You see what I'm doing here? I'm going in and having a look at what they've sold so that you can go in and you can have a look when you're doing your customer research. And postage wise, delivery varies. Right, okay, so they're not giving us the postage there. Interesting. They're obviously pricing it very separately, I would imagine. They're just leaving it as courier. So what happens if I go to buy it? Let's have a look. Courier, see the description for details. Delivery estimate varies for courier. So until I actually go and commit to buy, which I'm not going to do, I'm not going to know the price of my postage. So can you see you need to make sure that in your shop you don't do things like that. You need to let people know what they're going to pay. So that's a couple of very, very different shops. I just wanted to show you those so that you've got an idea what you need to be aiming for. You don't need to aim for this guy's shop and have all the bells and whistles and all the rest of it. Yes, he spent quite a lot of money on this. Yes, he's obviously doing extremely well because he is selling product, but he doesn't have a great deal of products in his portfolio. There's only a few. So go out there, do some research, get yourself a direct hit with a direct buyer, and go there. You know, and then, as I say, you don't need to have a massive shop. You don't need to spend money on it. You've got to remember the eBay customer is very used to the eBay layout. So do not get sucked in with just paying for an upgrade for the sake of it. So let's get stuck into the real thing about looking at shops. Now, in your back end, when you actually go to put your shop together, in your My eBay, so where you see all your sales history, etc., you will have a tab which will be Manage My Shop. You'll click on that tab, and this is the one thing that people just don't do. And I really find it quite amusing that business people think, I'll just do a basic listing and that will drive my sales. What they need to be doing is something like this to actually drive their sales forward, to make themselves look good. So your shop design is quite fairly straightforward and simple. So here you are, Manage My Shop, your shop summary, and what you're able to do is everything in here. This one is one of mine. This is one that I just use for clearance stock. So there's nothing massive in this one. That's why it's called Wholesale Job Lot Sales. Wholesale Job Lot are very good keywords, and Job Lot Sales are also good keywords, so strung the whole thing together. And if I've got clearance product, and if I've got stuff that I'm just disposing of, this is where it would go. Obviously, you've got your subscription level on the shop, and you can upgrade that and change that whenever you need to. If you think you need to change it, then fine. Email marketing, number of emails sent, a number of subscribers. Now, obviously, with your shop, you can, and you'll see this in a moment, you can actually get people to subscribe to you in your shop so that you can actually send them an email when you've got a special offer, when you've got a good deal, when you've got that no-brainer deal, like that guy with the treadmills. He's got the treadmills at such a really, really low price, and it's a real no-brainer. Or you've got a spike coming up, a seasonality spike, so that could be Christmas, could be Easter, it could be Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever the occasion is. You can then market to those people who have come to you to actually say, I want to buy something from you and I'd like to be added onto your mailing list so that you can send me something which is relevant to me, to the product that I've previously purchased. So don't turn that type of opportunity away. Build a small list of people, encourage them to go onto your marketing list so that you can send them something really fantastic. Now, obviously, you can also do your own flyers. So you can print your own professional flyers that you can actually put them into the products that you are sending out to customers. It's really, really good, really. All you've got to do is go in, and let's just quickly go in here so that you can have a very quick look. Include my shop URL. Brilliant. Include shop name, your logo, your user ID, your shop description. You can decide what you want in there. This will be done as default. Okay, so you can use pre-designed themes if you want to. Whatever it is you want to actually put in there, you can choose the pre-designed themes. So you can make it perfect. And then obviously you can put your custom message in. So when you're sending something to a customer, you can do that and send them straight back to your eBay shop, and away to go. They can make another purchase. Isn't that brilliant? That's really nice to be able to do that, but it's also so nice for the customer to receive something in their package that actually says, thank you very much, and I would like to offer you this, or I would like to give you the opportunity to purchase this at X price. Now, you may have bought something in that's got a recommended retail of £50 and you're selling it at 25 because it cost you £5 because you did a really good deal, or you purchased some bankrupt stock. You might have a no-brainer of a deal that they need to take, but you can actually then drive them back to your eBay shop, or obviously you can make sure that the flyer contains information to your own website if that is the case. Shop categories. This is fairly straightforward. On the shop categories, what you will see is categories which are down the left-hand side of the left-hand side of the toolbar. So if you go back to this shop here, see, these are your shop categories here, and you can have subcategories. So you can have up to 2 categories. So you'd put obviously treadmills in treadmills, and you'd put pool tables in pool tables. So you get the idea. You can have different categories. Now, that is fairly straightforward to do. All you have to do is go add a category. So on here, I'm going to just put in, and this would be secondary keyword rich. So I would just put in here wholesale. And let's say I want a second category, and I might want to call this, help if I could spell, job lot. Okay, so I've just created 2 categories. Straight away, done. Then I might want to add a subcategory. So let's click into there and add a category. Let's have a look. Sub 1, sub 2. So can you start to see that eBay actually makes it quite simple for you as long as you know where to look? So let's go back to shop categories, and now you can see that under wholesale I've got 2 subcategories. Yeah, so wholesale, click into wholesale, and I've got a subcategory, sub 1, sub 2. So let's go back to the treadmills. I may have a motorized treadmill and I may have folding treadmills. So using those as examples, I might call my main category here, I might call it treadmill, and I may have my subcategory as being powered or electric treadmills, and I might have these ones as being folding treadmills. When you then go to list your item in eBay, you will be asked which shop category you want it to go in. There is a drop-down box in the listings just below the title. So when you put your title in, you come out, you go down, and you actually then put your category or subcategory into the listing so that it goes into the right place. So fairly straightforward and easy stuff, and you just move on with that. Now here is the bit where you can have a little bit of fun. So this is where you can deal with your display settings. So this is where you want to play around to make the page look and feel how you want it personally. So here we go, we'd change that if we wanted to. And obviously the shop name, Wholesale Job Lot Sales, that is there. And you have the opportunity to put in a shop description. Make that secondary keyword rich. Don't worry about it. Now, I've been using this for a lot of testing and a lot of training, so I haven't put it back as it should be because it's not one that I use greatly, and I do use this for training people on. So you would put in here a couple of paragraphs that would actually describe your business and would actually have some good quality secondary keywords in. Then you can have a store logo. Now you can use their logos, and they have a few, and you know, it's worth looking at theirs. They're a bit of fun. Or you can obviously go and choose your own logo from your own file and decide what you want on there. Or you may have a logo which has got a URL to it, so your logo may be held in, say, Amazon S3, something like that, and you would be able to bring that down. Or you can say, I don't want a logo. So again, very, very simple stuff. It's all there for you to work with, but you've got to know that it is there. Now then, this is where you can look at your colors. So you can change your colors in here. You may have your own color scheme already, so you can go in and you can put them on, but you may also know the color reference. Now, if you don't know how to find the color reference, I'm just looking on my dashboard now to see what it is called, where you can create them. Okay, color pipette. So it is called simply that, color pipette. So you can create whatever color you want in here. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, I don't use this very often. I just have it there for a bit of fun. Okay, so there is my color, and here is my reference number. Let's go in, copy that. Let's put that back in there. There we go, it's come up. I've put my color in, I've put my reference number in, and it has brought up that particular color. So let me go through this again for you. If you put color pipette into Google, you'll be able to download this. It is a free tool, and that is it there, pipette. Okay, and let's go back in here. Let's create another color. Okay, let's take it up a bit. And let's go over there. Okay, add to custom colors, and it's added it there. Press OK. And my custom color is there. So there is my hex number, my reference number. So if I copy the hex number in full, rather than in part, and I put it in here. That brings up my color design. So I can design the colors of my shop to whatever I want. That is brilliant. So let's just say I swap that one around. So this is when I say to you, you don't need to go to any great lengths to actually pay people a lot of money to do this for you. You can have it done yourself quite easily. So for those of you that are on a budget and don't want to spend a few £1,000s, and I don't blame you for that either, you can just go in, use something like that, find the color choice that you want, get the hex number. If you've not used hex numbers before, they are the worldwide, I believe, standard for choosing colors that every artist, branding expert, and everybody else in the world uses. So you can create your own color and own design quite nicely on your shop front. And of course here you can change things in here. So shop name, what color do you want it? So FFFFF is white, so that's then white on that purple color, and obviously you can change things there as well, and also how large. So let's make that one extra large. So there you are, your shop name is there in bold, or you can go the other way and you can make it extra small. So this is the part of the eBay backend that you can play with, and you can really have some fun in designing your shop. You can get somebody to do it for you, but it's there. It's all there available for you to do. Just play with it and go with it, and you'll find that it's absolutely great. The navigation bars, the search box, if you think back to the shop we were looking at before, just getting back up there, you've got your search bar, you've got your top bar, you've got your side bars. So all these here, all these boxes here are relevant. So here you will decide where you want what. So display only first category level, display first and second category level. You can choose how these boxes on the side are displayed. Yeah, they're all there for you. So again, you can have a good play around with the back end here and change things and make the look and feel of it how you want it. Store header, you can go in there. Do you want the full eBay or do you want the minimal eBay? Now, you've got to upgrade your subscription to be able to do the full eBay header. If you've got a logo, you can go into the HTML builder here, and you can create your own logos by building links to the actual item and putting, sorry, the logo, and putting it in here. So you can have your own unique HTML logo in there. Now, if you're worried about HTML, please don't worry at this point in time. On one of the courses when we're dealing with photographs, you will then get to understand HTML in a lot more detail. It's really, really easy stuff to play around with. So that is something that you can do as an extra, and you can just put a decent shop header in there with that. You can choose list view, gallery view. So if we go back to our friend with the tables here and we go back to his shop, you have got him here as a list view. Now personally, for me, I prefer gallery view, which is that way around. So instead of seeing the picture here and having some data there, you see 4x3, so you see 12 pictures all there, and you can go and decide what you want to look at. So to me that is better, and that sits far better with the way eBay is set out. Sort your order. So again, best match, highest, lowest, ending first, newly. Normally people will go to best match, and that is the normal way of doing it. Having said that, if all your products are in auction, you might want to put your shop with the ones that are ending first, so that those are the ones that when somebody clicks into your shop, that's what they see first. That's what's right in front of them. The one that is about to end in the next 2 minutes, or the one that's about to end in the next few minutes. You really, at that stage, wouldn't want to put newly listed first. So you want to create a little bit of a buzz. So that is a little bit about the display settings. It is quite easy to actually go and build and design your shop. You don't need to spend 800, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 pounds on having things customized for you. You can go into the back end, you can do it all yourself. So if you're on a budget, if you don't have that spare bit of money, do it yourself. Use Pipex, use the hex codes, get the designs you want, get the branding you want. If you want to know the references for colors and which colors sell best and which don't, do a little bit of research on Google. Go to the branding experts. Have a look what is out there. In fact, there is a company out here. Let me see if I can find them. I'll get their magazine for you, if nothing else. Now, these are run by some people that I know. If you want to get a little bit of information on branding, have a look at these people. How to Build a Brand. This is their magazine, and you can get 2 issues absolutely free. Sammy and Miles, I've known them for absolutely ages. I've worked with them. They're a great people. They've done some real good stuff on branding. Let me, so How to Build a Brand. This is my 2 friends, Sammy and Miles. As I said, known them for ages. I'm going to send you their link.
Hello and welcome to How to Build a Brand, your very own online resource packed full of video tips, business growth strategies and ideas to help you become the brand leader of your industry.
Now maybe you're here because you want more sales. Perhaps you want better quality clients and to be able to work smarter and not harder. If that's what you're looking for, then we have a question for you. How would you take all of your knowledge and expertise and package it in such a way that you naturally become one of the highest positioned people in your
Right, you get the idea. I'm not going to
greatest value, most abundantly paid.
There you go. You get the idea. I'm not going to leave you with too much of their stuff at the moment, but obviously I've put the link to their Brand Brain magazine. Go and have a look at it. It may be something that will give you some information, but they're very much into which colors sell what products, what you can do to actually put something there that makes it look better. Again, if you're selling things blue is quite a cold color, so you wouldn't be wanting to sell warm and fluffy things with the whole store being blue. You'd want a little bit of orange, yellows, that type of thing there. So that's the type of thing that these people are talking about. So we'll get rid of them. But then you can obviously go in here and you can find the colors that you want for your particular store. And I don't know, for some reason I quite like these different oranges, and I can go in, pick that, and there we are, and there's my hex code. So that is the key to this. You need to know about the hex code, and if you want more information on hex codes, just whip it into Google and you will find lots of information about hex codes in there that you can actually move up with. Right, so now then, let's get back to this. This is where we need to be. So if you want to create pages in your shop, you can do so here. Now you can create different types of pages. So you can have the showcase, you can have pictures on the top, you can have pictures alternating. So again, when you're looking at these people who are charging you a fortune, all they're doing is this. What they're doing is taking what already works in eBay, doing it in HTML, and then putting it across here for you and charging you a really nice fee for doing so. So you can create your pages here. So you want a FAQ page, a frequently asked questions page. It's there. HTML page there. So that would really do well. So again, all these designs here for you. You can choose, you can decide, you can work out how you want it to look. How do you want your shop to look? You decide, and you can make it for yourself. So custom layouts, absolutely brilliant. Promotion boxes. Now your promotion boxes are the ones that you are going to see at the top of the page. Now the guy that we were looking at, where is he here? New arrivals, ending soon, and then you can obviously have things here. So he's got ending soonest, new arrivals. That is the two most popular. Interestingly enough, that hasn't got a picture on it. So he's obviously done that as a list rather than with a picture. I would have it personally with a picture. When you're selling online, pictures sell first. So you go in here, new arrivals, items, location, top left, view, edit, duplicate or remove. So you would select that, and that would be one of the ones that you would have. You can create a new promotion box right here. Add your title. What is it? Where do you want it to go? There's even a little template here to tell you how to do it. Yeah. So great deals, items on sale, see all items. You can put lots of stuff into here to actually help promote your eBay shop. And it is all there for you. It is really, really easy to do. Now, don't forget, later on in the year, we're going to have the big seminar, and that is where, because on a training video like this, I can show you where everything is, I can talk you through it, and I can tell you how easy it is to work with, and we've got time to do a few bits and pieces. When we do the big seminar, this is the sort of stuff that we'll be going into in depth, and we'll be looking at your particular brand, your particular shop, your particular design, and we'll be helping you make sure you get this, and we'll be able to do one-on-one on this type of thing. That will be the whole point of that. We'll go through it step by step, stage by stage. We will really go into great depths with all of this. So you can start to get an idea that everything is in the back end here, and it's this part of the back end of eBay that people just don't bother with. They completely forget. They don't even believe that it exists. We're about to come on to my favorite. This is the one that I know everybody misses out completely. You are so far ahead of the game here, you will not believe it. Now then, what you have here, these are your keywords. Now, when I am selling lots and lots of things, and I've got a shop full of things, I will have my keywords in here. So let me just copy that. I'm going to bring in a Word document here, and you'll see why I want that Word document in a moment. So let's put that in there. So wholesale, job lot, sale, cheap, trade, pallet. That was that one. Copy. Where's my Word document gone? Okay, wholesale, pallet, stock clearance. These are keywords which are relevant to wholesale. And when I've got a lot of stuff going in, even the misspellings, would you believe, it's worth putting them in. Job lot spelt as separate words and as a joint word. So you will put in here keywords. So you have one box, primary keywords. They're the main ones. They're the ones that actually describe your product to the best. Your secondary keywords will go in these rows here. Now, each one of these rows can take 60 characters. That includes spaces and that includes punctuation. On this, you don't need punctuation. The only time you would use punctuation is if you were making it a 3-word string. So wholesale pallets, cheap, might be a string that is well searched for when we've gone into the search criteria to get good keywords. So here is where you'll put your keywords. So again, the chap that is selling the, and I don't know this obviously, so this is just me making assumptions. Let's say we've got this guy here. He is selling this particular treadmill, which is an unbranded or an own branded item. Now he might have gone into the back end of his what's name here, and he might have put in Nike, he might have put in Reebok, gym equipment, and put in the really good names that you would know, the mega names, the big players out there, because this is where you would put in, if you're selling a television set, which is your own brand television set. So this is the pick, pack, post television set. I would have Sony, I would have Toshiba, I would have Philips, I'd have all of the names in there. I'd have John Lewis Electronics, everything in here, because this is the bit that helps make you money, making sure you've got all the keyword strategies in this back end part of your eBay shop. So whatever product you're selling, every category allows you to have keywords. So another good reason to split your categories up. So let me go back over this for you for a second, just so that you've got it. Shop categories. Shop category, you'll have a category. So you'll have wholesale and job lot. In there, I will have perhaps a subcategory. So I've got 2 subcategories, subcategory 1, subcategory 2. When I come to actually deal with my keywords belong to the category. So here we have wholesale, sub 1 and sub 2. So I can get some really, really, really good keywords. Now can you see eBay has just defaulted to some stuff that I put in there just because it needs something in there. But I can really drill down in my keywords, and what you're looking at here is what nearly 90% of traders on eBay do not do. They do not go forward at this level and actually put in the keywords. They miss it out. They just they leave it blank. Why would you leave it blank if you've got stuff in there? The ones I have for the rainwater harvesters, I've got my competitors' names in there. I've got their websites in there. I've got all sorts of stuff in there, eco-friendly stuff, Greenpeace, all the rest of it. I've got all of that type of thing in there that will actually be keywords. Now, those people may not be searching for rainwater harvesters, but all of a sudden a rainwater harvester pops up in front of them. Why? Oh, right, I might buy that. So you put the keywords into this part here, and this is the one big sin that most people have when they are working on eBay. They just don't bother. They don't know it's there. They don't look. In fact, most people don't go to find the Manage My Shop tab. Shop categories, keywords, those are the minimum. Display settings, custom pages and promotion boxes. If I was setting a shop up, okay, I've got some knowledge, so I know how to do it. Let's say I was setting a shop up for myself now. I would say that I would spend probably about 3 hours on that. And that is a one-time fix, unless you want to go and keep changing things, unless you need to change your keywords or your categories because of seasonality. But I would always make sure that everything had got some keywords to it. So you've done it once, you spend the time on it, you make it look nice, you make it look, I'm going to say pretty, you make it look right. If you're into HTML coding, then you can create links, you can build links. It's fairly straightforward. So a basic link will be one item to another item. So there's your item number. So you put your item number in there. You'll put your link text in here. So it's a test item with 3 T's. And you would put your link image, which would either be from a gallery picture, if you've got a gallery picture, or it'll be from a HTTP cloud-based picture such as Amazon S3. And again, you can make the font whichever you want, size, large, small, medium, extra large, bold, italic, etc., etc. So you can build links to your own products so that when one product sells, they're automatically seeing the next product that you have. Or they may be somebody else's product. It may be you have a venture with somebody else, or you're cross-selling them to another store. And again, that's to an item, so that would cross-reference to your item, and this would be to your shop. Shop front, your About Me, your favorites, newsletter. You decide where you create that link to go, and you just follow the same pattern. So can you see in the back of eBay here, there is so much that you can do. There really is. And if you want to get into the serious stuff, then yeah, you've got external links to items. You can put in title bars, and then you're coming to play with your colors again. So you can put in your different hex formats and how you want it, gallery list, all sorts, absolutely all sorts. So again, that would be something that it might look like over here. So you can build external links to items. So it doesn't just have to be within eBay. And then here, another big area for you to go and play with, you know, your feature list, header styles, email marketing, navigation. So there's lots of things that you can do in here to actually go in and create a bit more. Some of these we've already been into, but email marketing, promote your own store with newsletters. So you can do that, you can create them. In here, you'd create the email. Here is a brilliant way where you can actually send somebody an email and you can do it all there. Brilliant, brilliant. So there's an awful lot to pack in to a short amount of time. There's an awful lot that you can be doing to actually generate your own shop and its design. You can create a sale. Let's say I've got some items that I want to get rid of, so I'm going to do a 50% clearance. And this is all in this back end where you're managing your shop. With sales, you can only list sales on eBay once the item has been on display for 28 days. So your listings need to be good till cancelled. Because if you sell out or your listing is sold and it goes off, then that is not good till cancelled because it'll be relisted as a new item. So another reason why you need to upgrade to a minimum of the basic shop is so that you can actually create your listings as good till cancelled. That way, unless you sell it out completely and you create a relisting or eBay remove it because it violated a policy, you will then after 28 days be able to sell it at a discount. So if I've got something that I want 50% discount on, then I would list it and know for 28 days I'm going to be selling that at a full price of £50. I might not sell many, but I'm going to give it a sale price after 28 days of £25. That might have given me time for the video in the sales page to be ranking in YouTube. That may give me time for the keywords and the keyword strategy in the keyword builder behind the scenes, which we've just looked at, time to be fed out into Google so the searches are coming up, and then all of a sudden I'm going to hit it with a 50% discount. Absolutely brilliant. Now you can only run these for 14 days. What I tend to prefer to do with these is I start them on a Thursday morning, normally around about 10 o'clock, and I end them 2 weeks later on a Thursday morning at around about 4 o'clock in the morning. That way, it means that every other Thursday, I know that there is a job for somebody to do, or for me to do, in actually going back in and relisting that sale, because I can keep relisting that sale every 14 days. Yes, it's a bit of a pain that they only give you that 14-day window, but if you want something on permanent sale, you've just got to go in every 14 days and redo the sale. So I can offer a percentage off, 50%, or I might have something that I want to offer £20 off and not the percentage. I can then find the item, so I can either do it by category. So if I wanted to, I could do it wholesale offers, which is the category we've got, or it could be the subcategory. So you can select the category, or you can go and browse and actually find the listing manually by selecting the listings individually, and that will take you into your eBay shop, and you can go through and decide what listings you want to do. Then of course you can promote your sale by sending out an email to those people that have registered. So another great way of getting people in. I use Markdown Manager and to create sales quite heavily because it works for me. I've always had a number of items that we've had a very high recommended retail price, and we need to have a sale price. So I use those quite well. Again, very quickly, we can go into cross promotions. So again, it's a little bit like it says on the tin. Cross promotions, I can cross promote to either particular items or everything else across the range of product that I've got in the shop. I can pick and choose what selling format, the gallery, which items, how they're shown. I can go in here and it is just a tick box exercise. Standard display, and it would display at the bottom of your page. Going across, you can either use your own shop theme, obviously, or you can use the standard theme. So that's what sits at the bottom of your listing at the end of the day. It may be a case you're selling a toolbox and then you're selling them the tools as well. So it could be that you're doing a cross promotion onto other items that are relevant. Favorite seller, top picks. Again, you can go in and it will look at things that have been selling and what they've been selling for, and you can also then go in and do some promotions, which again is brilliant. And then I'm back to logos and branding. Messages and communications. You can see buyer wins the auction, buyer checks out. If your item hasn't paid, what you can do, again, all presets, just click in, add a message, and this automates everything. You know, thank you for the purchase of your item, blah, blah, blah. If you want to pay by credit card, please call us between. If you're returning your item, then your address. So you've got all sorts of things in there that you can also play about with to actually get people to do things. Now, reports, traffic reports and sales reports, that is something we're going to go into at a later date in great depth, because that will tell you what you are getting. That is probably around about 20 or 30 minutes on its own, just to make sure that we get that right. So that pretty much wraps up. I know it's a bit whirlwind. There is a lot in there. If we were sitting down at a computer and we were going through this to actually build your shop and your front end, it would probably take us about half a day to actually go through and complete a lot of the stuff that's in here and actually get your shop looking good. And that's all I'd be looking at this stage. Then there'd be another half a day probably sorting out the cross promotions, the logos, the branding, the traffic reports, and the various preferences, etc. that you have here. Marketing tools and shop marketing and managing your shop, that is critical. You need to be looking at that, and you need to get the designs for those done very, very quickly. You need to be making sure you're putting your keywords in here. So wherever it is you're doing things, you need to be making sure that you've got it there, that you're going through. You know, terms and conditions are there if you want to read them. Go in and have a look. This is the back end of your shop. This is what makes the difference to you making a lot of money, some money, or no money. And the people that I see that come along and say, Why aren't I being found? My keywords aren't working. Well, the keywords aren't working because they're not putting them in the right place. They might not even be putting them in the title. They're putting them in the description. That is secondary keywords. Your title and the back end of the shop in the keyword manager, that is the place for keywords. That keyword manager pushes them out to the search engines, to Google, to Yahoo, to everybody else. So that is where they all go. I've just got a question there whether I can set up a PDF for the main points of going through this. Yes, what I'll do is I think I will get somebody to do a transcribe of this. I'll get that out to you. It'll be a couple of weeks. We'll get that out as a bonus for you, where we've got some slides and we can put some meat on the bones. I know this has been a whirlwind rush through. However, it gives you the pointers. It's shown you where to go. You go into my eBay, you find manage your shop, and you go through it. And if you work systematically through each one, you will actually find you will create a brilliant looking shop, and that you won't have needed to have gone to the lengths of the guys over here that have spent a lot of money on having all that done. Because all this here is what you've already seen. They've just paid a lot of money to have it done. And I have somebody who regularly, very regularly, says to me whenever he meets me, am I ready to do any work with him yet on getting my shop rebranded and getting a format for the actual shop? And the answer to him is no, I'm not. Now then, I have got one other bit for you, a little bit of a tip here. And I think this is a great tip. Let me just get rid of this. Now, when you name your shop Wholesale Job Lot Sales, eBay will give you the full address. And the full address is http://stores.shop.ebay.co.uk/wholesale job lot sales. Nobody's going to find that in a month of Sundays. So if you want to redirect people to your shop, what you do quite simply is go to Google and you put into Google URL shortener. If you just type Google URL shortener into Google itself, you will then go to goo.gi. Click on that, and then what you can do then is copy your URL from eBay, paste it in there. Google URL shortener will then give you a new one, which will be that. Now, it may not be your desired one, but you would have that instead of that. So that is a shortener. It doesn't change the name of it. Now, if you wanted to change the name, and let's say you were using Microsoft Office or a Word document or something like that, where you were actually sending people to something, so you might want to say, visit my shop. Let's say you're doing this on an email. So you can highlight that, and you can normally right-click, and you'll have hyperlink. So then what you would do is put in, whoops, that's going to be the shortener. It doesn't really matter which one you put in at this stage. You put in that, and then that would visit my shop. Yeah, it would help if I spelt visit correctly. There's another I there. You can actually change that. If you're doing some promotion, if you're sending emails to people, you don't need to give them that great big clunky bit of code because it looks pretty, wow, that's a long one. If you go to Google Shortener, that is a great tip and a great tool for you to use. It may not be right for you, but it's a good way of shortening it. And you can do that with any URL. It doesn't matter what it is. So if you've got a massive long URL, which is twice as long as that again, you can still go in and you can shorten it. Or if you're sending it through as a Word document, as a PDF, a spreadsheet, an email, that type of thing, you can then just go in, put it into Word, and click on the hyperlink, In this case, it would be edit hyperlink now, and you can put here, this is the screen tip, you can put whatever you want in there, and that is the website address. So you can put any website address in there whatsoever. So I could put not h2so.org, put that in there, and if I then go and click visit my shop, this will just take us to my website, and you should be able to see in a second that that will come up quite nicely. He says, I'm looking for it, there we go. It's getting there, website's a bit slow. It's a French website tonight. It's French broadband you're on tonight, folks. So that is, and there you are, it's brought it to the shop. So you can either use Google URL shortener, which is a Goo bit of software, or you can go into Word if you're using it on a Word-based item, and you can use Word software to actually do that. So there we are. That is this week done. I've taken note of some requests. I've got some other requests that have come in on my Gmail whilst we've been on as well. So how to sell on eBay online training course week 3. Don't forget, we will be announcing the date for the big seminar shortly, and there will be some very, very special offers which will only go out to a few people. The people that are on this particular course will have access to those offers. They are already planned, they've already been written out, the dates have already been put together, and we'll be doing that very shortly. We'll be announcing a retreat for those that want it. It will be limited to 3 people only, and those 3 people will come out to France to join me for a weekend where we will spend the weekend working on their website. It will be out here in France, and you will be my guests at a cottage that I will rent for the weekend, and we will spend the whole weekend working on your eBay site and your strategy. There is going to be obviously a cost for that. That will be advised, but it will be limited to 3 people only. Or it could be 3 couples if that is the case. If it's a husband and wife team, then fair enough. But you will need to come out here to France to take the opportunity of that. That is something that I've put together with the owners of a gîte and a cottage here, and that will be a really special deal, but it will mean that we will be in a place where we can be totally, utterly and completely focused at driving your business forward. So I'm now going to go and have a nice glass of French wine. We are an hour ahead of the UK as well, so I might even see what I can rustle up some escargot or frog's legs for tea tonight, perhaps. Who knows? Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to next week when I will be back in the UK and we will be doing week 4. Take care. Bye for now.